We are live. This is so far I don't really have a name for it. I just call it the Kenny Baker Podcast because it's just kind of like me and a couple friends hosting it every now and then. We got Deadeye Two Tongues on here from TikTok. He's got a pretty crazy story. um, but yeah, I'm. Let's see. We ain't got no viewers, but let's do it. Uh, yeah.
About,
Honestly, I've
I was going to say, that's the great thing, archival footage is that, we might not have any now, but, people can later.
exactly. Yeah, it might be a little glitchy on this end, but it kind of buffers out as it plays over to YouTube.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I use this platform. My internet's not the best out in the woods.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the woods, too. It probably doesn't help.
Yeah, it's never a win-win when you live out in the woods for internet possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unless
totally.
you're rich as shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty rich, like when it comes to the great things I have here. I just ate a fat mushroom, amazing mushrooms I have available to me in my neck of the woods, and didn't have to pay a dime.
Yeah, see, that's the cool thing. For you that don't know, he lives in Iowa and he does foraging. And that's how I found him on TikTok, was through foraging. And
Ohio. It's Ohio club and
Ohio.
Ohio. Anytime I spell Ohio, I always put as Ohio. You know what I mean? Which sounds a lot like Iowa. Yeah.
Well, when I posted it, I did post it in the correct location. I just am a little stoned right now.
Go for it, man. I'm all about the herbs, bro. You know me.
Yeah, I've been watching your channel for a while. Honestly, the first one I seen, I thought like I seen your eye, and I was like, man, what happened? Like the first thought was like military. I don't know why. I was like, man, this guy must have been like the military and got shot, or like frag or something. And so I scrolled all the way to the bottom of your channel like a creeper stalker, and I just literally binge watched 90% of your videos throughout the day at work. Just
Yeah. No,
I was like, damn, this dude's got a
a lot of
crazy ass
people
story.
think. Yeah, a lot of people think that I'm like former military and stuff because those that are military, missing an eye or ours. I did receive a wound that is like that of somebody who, but yeah, unfortunately that wasn't. Well, I guess it's no one should get shot. Unfortunately, it's not like the people that got shot in the middle. I mean to say, it's just no, I didn't have that courageous service to earn that missing part of myself. Some jealous stalker shot me. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, to say the least.
That's honestly just when I was like watching your TikTok and how you explain like what happened. I was like, how like that's insane. Like that's craziness right there. It makes you look at the world like a totally different perspective.
Yeah, I would say it's an eye opener, but like, how ironic is that? It definitely made me take a whole different perspective on things. Some psychotic lottery with like a guy that got with. It's like that poor bastard that just gets carjacked. You know, well, I had searched for spiritual resolve within it. If that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just seems like a pretty hard like topic that or not. I don't even know how to like describe it.
Yeah.
Like basically like it's one of those things
Yeah.
like I couldn't imagine in my life, you know, but it's like a possibility that could happen.
Oh yeah. 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 We all have those fears. I think that mine are more realized like post. Um. You know, you're the whole thought of like, oh, I could at this volleyball game and a meteor just crashes through the ceiling and hits me. It's like a 1D, but like there's some people it happens to, and I'm that guy. So.
Yeah, you're that guy that had some insane shit happen and lived to tell the tale about it.
Yeah, man, it's pretty interesting to go through like all of the text messages and stuff between like the shooter and like everyone. And I remember the prosecutors asking me like, so do you know? I truly don't. Like I may have like been in the same room with this 2 times, and they're like yeah, with that because we what cops do, you know, they go through all of your stuff and then they kind of like incrementally add or planned and plotted out to get certain results and everything, and because they're like absolute hell out of me and they drew a 0 result on anything, you know, like that this guy was so mad at you. And you know, it would have been like pretty transparent of the amount of data they can look into, and they couldn't find anything on it. I, uh, uh, I guess the angst and anger in somebody stable, and now I kind of try to uh, bring in life situations out of fear that other people will go through it themselves.
Right. That's just insane to be 100% honest with you. Um that's crazy like that to think that you've only been in the room with this person like a couple times and then for you just to like a picture and then this person just to like have something snap in his head or not be wired right and just come over
Oh
and
yeah, it was total like a just like strange series of events. Completely cordial with my ex, in which was the result. I mean, it was a combination of two things. I liked a picture on and it wasn't even like a picture of my ex. It was a picture of like a video game we used to play, Dragon Age. Going through, I didn't even realize it was like my ex picture, and I liked it. And I remember having to be tuned. That was part of it, and I just stood there and founded like really, like really. Was when the guy started kind of acting crazy with realized it and was, you know, separate, because me and my ex, we had broken up like 3.5 years before. We were on a 5-year cell phone plan, so this guy starts acting with me and everything. I sent him a message like, hey, I need to separate my phone bill from yours. This guy that you're missing. Those two things combined, uh, yeah, that was in my life, which is just crazy. You know,
right.
think about that times and like.
And like after you guys like broke up and stuff, were you guys still like friends or was that like not were you guys not friends?
No, we were totally friends. I mean, it took a second. Like, no, it took. We both had like our feelings, but like later on down the line, realizing that at one point we truly loved each other and cared about each other. In an effect, to want to still like keep each other within, you know, safety, like really really hard stuff with like who in this area had being investigated and stuff. Like I helped her out of that situation. She she had the best intentions for me too. It was just like a mutual thing. It's rare, you know,
I
but
was
it
gonna
took
say
us a
that's kind of one of those
second,
rare things.
and then we like kind of reconnected again, you know, still like wanting to have mind. Um, you know, it was kind of out of a moment of desperation for her too, but for me, was like he was a pretty gnarly guy. Times that I had to like and help her out, even though I was dating another person. And they go like, look, you know, I'm with you, but I don't hate her. Like I need to try to like help her. Where she had no other alternative, like her dad passed away, you know, her mother was out of the question, a drug addict. Only thing she had was like her uncle, you know, uncle's wife, and they lived far away. There was literally nobody. So there was, and then everything like changed one day. You know, she got with this one guy who's currently in prison for shooting. Where that was the day the air changed after we like got okay with one another again. There was this day I was like tattooing her, like I had several times, and I'm looking out the window and I'm like, dude, blink twice if you're okay. This dude's like creepy. He's like creeping me out. He's like Toyota, just like staring at me, like like, and yeah, man. It ended up like I knew there was something wrong way before anything happened, but this guy like calculatedly waited of time to shoot me. You know what I mean? Like he knew like, well, if I just like, you know, and kind of like made a fuss that like that it's me. So he waited like later to like come back and shoot me, to the point where cops were like asking me, is there anybody that I can think of? I mean, it was calculated. It's crazy. The calculated,
Like it was.
yeah. Go ahead.
Damn. Yeah. See, that was like. I was just gonna say that's like him trying to do everything in his way, like not to get caught. Like he was like, I could make a scene right now, but I could just plan some shit out in my head, wait until he goes home, sneak over middle of the night, get it done, be out of there. No one's gonna know anything.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just
I mean,
good.
it was very, very amateur. Like in hindsight, it was super amateur because like he was sending messages back and forth. So like things people don't know about, like like these, like once they find out who it was, they disclose all that evidence to you. Um, cross reference a lot of stuff, and I got to actually see the exact words that were sent between him and another person. Now, granted, you know, what like who the other person was, but I got to read his words clearly, and I'm going to bring my dad's like junk shotgun. No one will ever know it's missing. Carrying away his body. He's a big dude. It's going to need a big hole. Like, I mean, it's stuff. And I got to read all of that, and then kind of, you know, get to the man who tried to take my life, which was just the most crazy put into words. And I still put into words.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I've seen some of your TikTok videos.
Yeah. 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 Like every once in a while I get the courage to talk. Time it's just like talking about plants. It's all a big loop though. It's all a big circle. A lot of the reasons why I do the videos and stuff that I do is because of the near death experience I had. Me come back with some certain amount of like angst, like I or benefit or try to benefit the world, because I feel like I was in like in, you know, giving his eye to the sea pool so he can have like some sort of knowledge in any sort of way, but I feel like it was necessary, if that makes any sort of sense.
Makes sense in a way.
Yeah. It's troubling still.
Well, yeah, and that's why you got into doing foraging, right?
Yeah. Um, a lot of it was because um, I started realizing stuff, like, especially, like, it was long before that. My biggest, like, subject, like, forcible fucking changes. Like, one of my life that was changed was when I realized that corrupt our government is during the whole, 9/11. When I watched something and that really rattled me and changed me. I be gnarly this for the cause and effect thing. Cause a problem and then create a solution. And especially like after I got shot, I realized something had been given to me, something I couldn't time to comprehend. But then the whole COVID narrative came in, and I started to read big pharma was like. I mean, I knew it, but man, I was like tuned at that point, and I was like, man, like no one's gonna trust there anymore. Like, and I also was like kind of because after I got shot, like my body hurt so much, and they were pumping me full of things that like really were ruining my life, and all those things combined to where that I needed to become more like conscious of what was in my food, what was in my water, what was in the medication I was taking, what is in the vaccine. And then I started realizing just how abundant. I mean, my family being straight up dirt worshippers, but like it really dawned on me after. That's whenever I was like, what I guess mission would be is to put myself into a position where there is suffering, try to prevent it, and try to keep people out of breadlines and out of fighting, more reliant on the earth that we have learned to ignore all around us, to buckling on the teat of things we know are absolutely destructive to our children. I mean, it goes like way deeper than all of that. Like I'm studying like how to get myself away from being just another that the government like lobbies and like takes debtor loans out, uses me as some sort of like pawn chattel. you know like I want to take my life, I want to show everybody else how to do that too. And I just hope to be like very totemistic to the anybody can utilize the tools we have at hand. Field guides, our phones, or whatever, to reconstruct lives and inspire other people to do so. I mean, that's the last thing that we team up with nowadays. Like we sit around and like we talk about like how great a Netflix show was, but we don't care to see how great life could be if we like weeded out necessary evils that we all have, that we messing up our health. And I mean, we all know anything from a grocery store, it's poison. It's like polished in fucking pesticides, and don't care. We're complacent. And that's the funny thing, is that all of those chemicals on those foods designed to do that exact, and we all just like, we don't have the mental fortitude to stop at cigarettes or whatever. Like it's convenient, man. I'm trying to understand, if you go out into the woods, you bust your ass, you could find some things that you can for a fact, other than chemtrails, aluminum oxide, all your atmosphere to kill you. Like, it's never been sprayed or distorted in any health property. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's my whole goal. I want to teach people to go out into the woods, know the difference between something like, that will help your body, and trying that. And it's not like I know everything to somebody who's like reintroducing and just taking it by the balls, dude, as they can. Like, I don't want to live in that freaking system anymore, dude. I'm done with it. Fucking like a sheep. I'm done, dude. And the more I do it, the more I find that I'm able to help and instigate other people's matrix, like trying to make other people Neos, man. Like, wake up, man. We're in this world. Like, it's not just like go to work, fucking go. Like, someday I'll be 60 years old and be able to afford that trip to Mount Everest. Oh, Everest. And now you can't. You can't. It's over.
No, you
You
can't.
can never climb it, man. It's over,
No, because now
Fuck
you're too
that,
old.
dude.
You waited too long.
Yeah, man. And the more, I mean, dude, it starts with just something spring water, like real spring water. Like, buy some 5-gallon. I'm telling you, the more that you drink it, the more that you separate yourself from those things. Like, oh, it's horrible. But like, you spend that little bit of money and it clears you up a little bit more mentally. You know what I mean? Now you're like, okay, I got the fluoride out of my brain. Now I can now I can dream. Now I can be a little bit more connected. It's simple. And sometimes it's like, just take your shoes off and stand in the dirt for a second.
For
Just
real. Feel the earth,
they've disconnected us completely. And it's funny, like the things that they make you so oblivious to, that typically are like almost the best things that you could like ever like ask for. Like, like walk, outside without like getting a boo-boo. It's like, well, why? You've been conditioned, probably because you don't have time off at some job you freaking hate. Like, who goes camping anymore? Hardly anybody, dude. Like,
that's one of my favorite things to
nobody.
do.
Yeah, man. It's the deepest connection you can have.
I was just gonna say, doesn't it feel like there's just you're at peace when you're just out in the woods and you're just walking around with nature? There's just like that
Oh
calm
yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find it funny, like how they like hide little truths from you, like, choose. You know what I mean? Like, it's like where the in your body and the earth stops. They mockingly name it like, oh, it's your soles of your shoes. Because like your soul needs to be tethered to the earth. You know what I mean? They do all that stuff, like whenever you work week, and then you get to the week. Oh, it's the weekend. Well, what are you at the end of the week? Well, you're weak. Shit like that, man. And since I've stopped
You're just
drinking tap
you're
water,
at the end.
yeah, yeah, dude. Since I stopped drinking tap water, I start connecting like that, and I start seeing, the rich, like elite guys, like the people who have for everybody into thinking a kind of way and indoctrinating us into these, and now I'm just obsessed with break, like just, even if it's for me, the fact that my TikTok's probably going to come down to the point where like I'm going to get wiped off there. Like, I made this comment the other day and because I said Epstein didn't kill himself on somebody's like, video.
Got deleted.
Like, I went from gaining like 200 followers a day to like 6, like and I was like, damn, that one like video, it was like Epstein didn't kill himself. Since then, bro, they squashed me in that out. and I was like, motherfucker, gotta be careful. I want to
See,
monetize
I've had
anything.
no.
No, dude. My whole thing is like to show people how to do this stuff so they can survive. These monsters in power, bro. They have no qualms about creating diseases that still a problem since the 80s. You know, the one that AIDS in the problem, that like the whole narrative with the jabby jab. Like, these homie, they don't care. That we're talking real life monsters, but like around us that knows whenever you say the things you're saying, they can preemptively like come out. Think of all the doctors who were speaking out against a lot of this stuff that's been going on. They have all the information they were saying become true. We're dealing with like real
Oh,
life. Tune in on this shit. They're only on this fucking podcast right now. I mean, it's
what's up?
scary, dude.
Oh, there's the one viewer. I think that's my buddy actually.
No, I was saying that the FBI is probably the one viewer like on here right now. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, probably. Oh, guaranteed.
It's
They're always tapped into everything. It doesn't matter. You can iPhone, you can shut all your locations off. You can shut everything off, but there's still a chip in that thing to know exactly and hear exactly everything you're saying.
absolutely.
And every day it gets proven more and more that they're just. I mean, shit. Back in like 2011, they were talking about sending out sand molecules. They were like a micro. It was the size of a grain of sand, and basically they were going to send those all over the world, and then they would, actually be tracked into your house and then everywhere else, and they'd be just like a grain of sand. And they were just basically little like microchips that could hear and see whatever was going on around you, like 3D visuals.
Tech. You heard of
Yeah, nanotech.
that? Tech.
I think
It's like,
yeah, I've
I mean,
heard about that.
self-assembling like tech, or kind of like looking the opposite way at this point. Like, there's been so many seen about like, I don't know who gives the okay on this stuff, but like mosquitoes that are preloaded genetically with the ability to you like vaccinations and things like that. Like it's just like so 1984 and crazy that we all kind of just spin around. At this point, the past few years, like who remembers before the past 2 years? Now we have the new normal, as opposed to then normal was like, yeah, so what, you were paying bullshit taxes, but now it's like full steam ahead, like destruction of the human mind and the human psyche. It's like, when the fuck, and it's absolutely nuts.
No, I have noticed that now there's like this new normal, and it's not fucking normal.
Yeah, not at all, man. But I mean, no one's like really addressing it, and it's hard to. I've thought about how the hell, I've grew up with an activism, or an activist mother, always like, trying to stand up for the rights of like those who were, and as time went on, there's this whole attempt to make everyone feel like they're at war with one another. You have these rich people, and then you have like the poor people, and I thought about how self or my intelligence or anything to aid the situation that I know is absolutely. And like, do you start like a fucking armed militia movement office or anything? And I settled on the whole No, man, you instruct how they can educate not themselves, but like children, their family, like how to not rely on that. That's where I'm at.
I definitely agree with you on that. When the whole scandemic and COVID was happening, my wife had called me and told me that everybody was going out and buying toilet paper like crazy and just to grab a couple rolls because we have a household of 9 here. I got a pretty big household.
Like
I got
does that
it's
many?
what's up?
You have 9 kids or 8 kids, I
No,
guess.
no, no.
I was gonna
So it's
say, damn.
me and my wife, and I have 3 kids. And then when COVID hit, her sister moved in with us, and she has 3 kids.
I was gonna say I'm from fucking Appalachia, man. It's a lot of people have 9 kids around here, but I was gonna say most you seem like I was gonna say, God damn boy.
No, only got 3, and then I cut it off because I probably would have 9 by now.
Fucking props. Know your limits.
Yeah,
What are your kids?
we wanted to stop at 2. So my oldest is Kaylin, and then Emily, and then Keegan. He's my youngest.
Nice. That's nice, man.
Yep.
That's really. How old were you when you had your first kid?
I was 21,
Ooh.
and
So you've been
then
busy.
22 on my second. Yeah.
And then what?
And then I think I was
And
24.
then
I think I was 24 when I had my third.
almost a year. Like a hot
Yeah,
minute.
I would have been 24 when I had my
Yep.
youngest.
Still work. I had my son whenever I was 24. That's the boy I've had. I think I'm only one of those men that like really gets his like, because like I'm kind of weirded out. Like I don't want vaccinations. I want my kid to not have to drink. Like I want to really work for that and earn it. Like because I'm kind of what would a human be like if they weren't subjected to absolutely, like no, like like I don't want to do lunchables and crap education, like see somebody strive because I things that I know that induced a lot of crap onto me in my life and everyone else's life. Like 45, be like, all right, dude, like you have the best chance possible. It's like intelligent, non-poisoned, like optimistic person. Like out these obstacles down that like screwed everybody else over in this world.
Right. No, I totally agree with you on that as well. I mean, we have 6 kids here, so Lunchables sometimes definitely happens. But we do like to try to do a lot of like fresh fruits and vegetables from we try to get our shit from Mexico, comes over in a fruit truck right here, and we like to go
Yeah.
down there and just pick up the fruit from there. Known the owners for years now, so we get like super good deals. Go in, get apples, bananas, and oh, dude,
So
fuck yeah. What's that?
I said you're super close to the border then?
Not really. We're like 2 states away, but when you
Oh,
get to
I thought
I'm in Oregon, but I'm not that far from Klamath Falls. And there's a train that runs up from like Arizona straight up through California into Klamath Falls and then heads back.
Nice.
So I like we have like a taco truck like an hour drive from here, and I will drive an hour for that taco truck because it is fire as shit.
Yeah, we got some restaurants like in here. Now the ones and stuff too. Like everything's hillbilly where I'm from, dude. Like, do you guys like that? Like, do you have like Oregon hillbillies or thing that the Appalachian East Coast experiences?
So I would definitely want to say yes, but our hillbillies are like crackhead tweaker hillbillies.
Commonly get twisted up with that. like, like a lot, but it's not the case. It's it's not. No, we
Most of
have
my friends
tweakers. Go ahead.
most of my friends say that I'm like the redneck hillbilly kid. And it's like I think it's because I just like live way out of town and I'm like kind of off grid, and like my property's like pretty much a huge mess, but it's a huge property, and I've been here since I was 10 and I'm almost 30 now. So things, collectively gather. And I've been slowly taking dump runs and building cool shit out of all the leftover shit that was left behind.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's what
Like
people don't like realize about the whole foraging thing. It's for me. It's not always like going into the woods and foraging. Sometimes it's murder. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. You know, steel ain't cheap,
yeah,
homie.
I got well, and we started gathering a bunch of stuff around here, and I'm actually using most of it to do my roof through the winter time because as soon as spring comes, I'm trying to move out of here. But my roof has leaking and weak spots, so I found probably 85 10-foot by 4-foot sheets of 10, and I'm gonna do the whole roof. And there was a bunch of
No,
plywood left behind the shed, so gotta use it. I'm not gonna go buy brand new shit.
yeah, yeah. That's what's up. My buddy Brian Bennett. He's kind of like my first official sponsor in the sense that we both live really. We have shared dreams. You know, we both like. He is so passionate about like his kid. Like he's got like 20 children. Sorry, Brian. I know you're gonna watch this later, but he's got kids. He's like trying his hardest. He's like working in a factory and everything. Kind of swapped visions on stuff. Like I have a property that I'm inheriting, and he's got able to make time for. So like we're fusing, and that's part of the big like the whole thing with too is like I don't want to be monetized. I want to get to the point where I can say, hey man, if you guys like, I, can I just get $1 maybe from each one of you, like just 200,000 followers? Hell, that's like $200,000, and we want to like start like a farm and like really get our stuff up and going, and medications and stuff for myself, for my family, and for other people. Like Brian's got like just made him something from plants that I studied, and and I'm moving because I feel like that would be the best thing, like a lead by example. In an RV, like I have 32 feet by 9 feet, like to organize my life in and everything. I've already like kind of gotten used to it. Like I haven't lived with others, like, but I want to move on, and so does Brian and several other people to live in this kind of like within our means lifestyle. Because like when we do that, you're then watching stupid sitcoms and eating shitty fucking foods, like much happier and better off,
Some shit
and
ass
if we could just
McDonald's,
free ourselves up, dude. Silicone, we all know it too, man. That's the
Oh
thing. Like,
yeah.
how do we do that? How do we do
Every
that?
time I
Like,
eat
how do
that
we,
shit, I feel like ass.
you know? But our goal is to, we want to be as like close to modern day as we can be. Like we want to, be able to our local like flora, deal like like working to hunt our own meat and fill our freezers for an entire season until the next season where we want to be able to do that, and we want to encourage other people to do it. Like, not only just built this property, we set it up, like we made sure that there's like forageable mushrooms for like a wide diversity of like like studyable, edible, and whatnot, and then give people back that knowledge, that the energy. And I mean, dude, like I can't harp on it enough. Not drinking tap water, freedom you built for yourself, that gives
So
you that ability to
what about like
go ahead.
out of a well? What about like well water?
Well, that just depends. Like if there's fracking going on, or if like around we have mine runoff, and we have like all these like different leach beds, all of these like chemicals and stuff that like come from these mines. I mean, if you're like 400 miles away from any infrastructure or industry, it's going to be okay. And that's the thing, though, is that like if you jam a pipe far enough down anywhere, really, eventually, it depends on how deep the pipe goes, But like we here we have this amazing spring that we use all the time, but we know that we can, like, how we can make that opportunity for us anywhere that we're at. It's pioneer days back, the rugged, like if you wanted to, like, just the simple, it's like you're taking a chemical bath, and fluoride causes health effects out the ass. It's like me and my wife, we bought one of those big like animal feed. Time we want to take a bath, we just start a fire underneath this thing. It's locks, and we like start our bath like 5-7 o'clock. It's ready to go, and you can wash your
I've
nuts finally. Like, a lot of work. That's how.
I've
But you
seen
earn
the
it. You
troughs. I've seen the troughs in your TikToks. You were washing
Yeah, dude.
wild lettuce in it.
Same thing that we bathe in, man. Same
Yeah, I
thing.
got like 10 of those troughs around my property, man. Yeah, this back in the day when I was in high school, me and my mom used to run a ranch here. We had 23 horses here back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we were pretty much living off grid back then, like so off grid that we had to put a hand pump well in because our well used to freeze up every winter.
yeah. What's winter like out in like Oregon?
So the last like few years has kind of been like shit. It's been a lot of like, cause I'm pretty high up in the mountains. I'm in technically the high desert. I'm at like 4,800 feet elevation. So we get a pretty good snowfall. But the past couple years, it's just like snowed really good, like couple feet in like few days. And then it'll rain for like a week and it just turns to shit. But
Mm.
a couple years
Yeah,
ago, we got hit, I think, 8 feet in 4 days.
yeah. When I was tattooing out in Nevada, I met this like friend of mine named, and he came from Nevada and decided to stay with me, packed up with me, and worked at my. And it was like really funny because he absentmindedly have like bibs or like waiters or like he brought like his whole desert boy lifestyle to like, and like when it came to winter, he was like, dude, I don't have any. He's like, what the hell? man, you're about to find out. Like,
I was gonna say, yeah. What are the winters like over there?
well, I mean, there's this like old thing, like you know, the forecast like says it will be like, and uh arid during the summer, and it will snow. And then during the summer or during the winter, it will act like summer. I mean, it's so bipolar. Like there's all these like jokes and memes about it, but I mean, it's really the truth. Like very sporadic, because we're kind of like right in the middle and next to the coast of the United States, and then like right off the coast. So we get all this backlash, all the shit from Canada, and then all the warm fronts from Florida. So we're just like conundrum of like what the weather could possibly be. Like you check your weather app and you're like, it's supposed to rain like within an hour. You check it again, it's like it's supposed to rain at 3, and like
Now it's sunny.
yeah, it's like that, super up and down. But we're used to both the extremes. It's super humid here during this humid, like super wet. Mold grows like crazy. Like you have to be like alert and conscious. You leave something outside, like your chips will go to the counter. And
Damn.
then the winter comes along and just it's. I mean, it could be like balls deep you with like a phone, and then the next day it's like summer.
Must be all
Yeah.
that global warming, right?
I'd wink, but
Yeah, global warming.
I'm trying. Yeah, that's what if that's what you want to call it, I guess. It's funny. You look back at the progression of like time. I think it's like all the way back to like 19 like hundreds worth between sea levels, acid rain. Like I mean, like it's something, and like none of these predictions have. And some people like it's so vague, and be like it turns out like there's just like people and control the media who hire people like fucking Thunberg, like to make you feel like out driving your fucking car like around. Like meanwhile, these same assholes are going to like going like like, oh, I can't travel with my mail on my private jet. They need to my there, like it's like absolute insanity. It's so fucking crazy. And the whole fucking trickery of like, oh, we're going to cars, like meanwhile they're shutting down all the oil pipelines and things afloat. It's like they're going to pull the rug out from. You're going to be dependent on that electricity that's run off of coal. You have these fucking assholes tomato soup on Van Gogh paintings, thinking that they're these like absolute wizards in the world, and it's just like, dude, that super glue you used was transported to you a gas powered engine, like the Campbell soup that you use to throw out, the shirt you're wearing, the pants you're wearing, the phone you're using, all of it. But people don't get it. They nowadays think they're heroes. Like, it's
Well, that and
whenever
did you hear about all
do
of
what?
California's grid like basically shutting down
Yeah,
this summer?
dude, news. I tell you what. I tell
They
you.
were sending alerts for Central Oregon for the ACs and the Tesla charging. And I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? Like we didn't lose any power out at my place, but it was kind of one of those things. It's like, man, you guys are going all electric and you want all these electric things, but now you got to shut the power grid down from certain time frames to certain time frames because it's
It's all,
overloading.
dude, it's like part of the, like whenever I near death talking to something, and like whatever I retained from things, I remember was the fact that I'm not allowed to retain everything. You know what I mean? But like essentially being like, you really want to go back? Like you have a choice. You could die right now and like heavenly veil right now, or you can go back and help all those people that you love and like show being what you saw. And what I saw was just like total mind fuck of like men, like family against family, like desperation, anxiety, and I was like, fuck. Knowing what I know, all that stuff seems so with it. Like I can handle it, but holy shit, what I felt, it's way worse. Like it feels like it's way worse. Like it's such a nowadays, man.
Well, it's definitely not like the days when we were coming up as kids. That's for fucking sure.
Sure. Yeah. And it's just so funny how much of it's happened within just the past couple years. Like, it's designed chaos, man.
Like
At this point, you don't.
I'm thankful that I like grew up pretty much with my grandparents and not very, what's the word I'm looking for? We were poor.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Totally
like
get that.
I feel like I got to learn a lot more things at like I hang out with like a lot of older people, and like on my other chats, like the guys that I hang out with are like in their 40s and stuff. And they're like, "Oh, you kind of like think a little different, guy." And I'm like, "Well, like when I was growing up, I like to try to hang out with my grandpa, and like we lived next door, and then my uncle, he lived next door, and he had 5 kids, and grew up with older cousins, and like we weren't super rich, that's for sure. Of course, we had the 3 houses, but we weren't super rich, and there was like 15 acres between the 3 properties. So my grandpa was teaching us how to build, sheds and like cabins and woodshed, and we were always learning from my grandpa and having to farm and do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I always tag old ways in my TikToks. And my demographics hilarious. It's like all these people who are 45 years old using TikTok, and they're like, "You get them, son. Like alive, and like it's necessity at this point, man. Like the impression that there are psychotic, like dictator like people, are like at this point they have all the money in the world. It's just power that they want at this point. Like I'm not above believing that they're so far gone that they can't be like, because you can always bring someone to the light. But like my entire past 2 after closing my shop has been learning to deal. I don't watch anymore. Like I don't, last year we went without heat. We just, tested ourselves. We want to know, like, to possibly a world that I think has been designed for us.
My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I want like 4 shipping containers on a chunk of property out in the middle of the mountains, and I want 2 of the shipping containers underneath the ground and 2 of them above ground. And I want a freshwater runoff right next to the place. I tell her how I want it designed. I want freshwater runoff, and then I want a windmill or a water mill running through the river, and then I want that to run the generators to power my house.
Absolutely. Hydro it. The
Yep.
ultimate. That's what we've been talking about too. Like for the first time, my wife, like she's just been with the dog, and I heard her the moment you said that, like you wanting to bury storage their shipping. Like, man, that's like anybody who's keen to any of this shit is right now. Like where people who are aware what's happening around us. Like that's where we feel safe is underground. Like they're normalizing shit at this point. Like you're looking at these big cities, what to do whenever you're nuked. It's programming. Like that is like getting people ready for the inevitable. It's crazy to me, you know, like shit's just vain.
I know you don't watch TV and whatnot, but my wife and I, we watched the 100 on Netflix, and I told her that right there is like real life. Like that's how it is. Maybe not exactly how it plans out in it, but the things that happen during the TV show is just like, I don't know. What up? I think that I don't know who that is. Can you see the chat comments?
No.
Hold on, let me see. I think someone just commented. I don't know who it is. It might be for you. Let's see if it'll.
This will display here. I can't see anything. Do we have viewers?
Yeah, I got one person on here. They said, "What's up?" It's Brian. Looks like Brian Bennett.
Brian
He says, "What's up?"
Bennett.
I was trying to get my chat to overlay, but it's not overlaying.
Nah, I was talking about doing the goat farms and everything with. It's funny he tuned in. Hey, Brian.
Oh yeah, the guy with 6 kids or 10 kids.
He's got like, you know, he takes care of them all, so he's a good dude.
No, I feel you. We got a litter here too.
Yeah. That's funny. Anyway, the world's fucked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
it really.
That's why you need to. That's why you need to grow your own. All the things I can't talk about on my TikTok.
That's right. I got your number. We could bullshit back and forth because I want to get your PO box and I got some stuff that I want to mail you.
What are you trying?
What's up?
What are you trying to mail me?
A jar of alcohol.
Hell yeah. I approve.
So in my little town, we kind of still do that barter trade thing. And last year, before we decided to move, my wife loves chickens, right? We do chickens, we do ducks. She wants to get goats, and I want to get like a cow so we can get fresh milk, and etc. Kind of like the farm style life.
It's milk like they shut down all the Amish.
Yeah, they shut all down the Amish. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just nuts to me, man. Yeah, absolutely nuts. Like and keep tightening the grip, and it's like that a pot of water. You turn up the heat slowly. It doesn't even notice. I'd love to fucking straight up every morning and squeeze a cow tit into my coffee. Fair trade coffee, just
My buddy that I have on the podcast with me, Buford, he has some goats and he milks his goats and he drinks the goat milk all the time.
Yeah,
loves the shit out of it.
The whole or the baby, like goats are the closest thing that there is to human milk. Like a goat or two.
I've never drank goat milk. I've had goat cheese and it was fucking terrible. But it was goat cheese from the store, so it's probably fucked up.
Yeah, probably. Isn't that the reality though, when you walk in like to a store nowadays, literally walk up and you see an apple, and like you look, dude, if you look at a tree, it doesn't, like, you can't see your reflection in it. You can't, like,
It doesn't look like
like
glass on the fucking tree.
there's not a reflective, like, in wax on, it's got like bugs and all sorts of shit. Like, you gotta cut it open, make sure there's no weebles and stuff like that. Like that I is like on the cusp of ending, dude. And when that shit happens, when it's just how programmed they become to that, like, there's nobody preparing, like, at all, in any way, shape, or form. I mean, complete chaos. People are going to be like hurting each other.
Oh
Whenever
yeah, it's gonna be like the
you walk,
end.
yeah, like, walk outside and there's in plants around you that, like, winter, summer, or fall, you can utilize. People don't realize you can, like, utilize pine needles to, like get vitamin C.
Yeah,
And that should have
boil
been
down. Go ahead.
I was just saying that should be like a course that we, you know what I mean? Like, if, like, just like doing your taxes, really cared about the American people, and you wanted, like, the American people to be able to, like, a productivity and the capability of our own country, those would be like like things like, and we used to have these things called victory gardens, and, like, rather than the American people, like, having to essentially from government programs or anything like that, the government, like, mandatory thing that you had, I think it was like 100 foot by 100 foot, like, square garden, designed to make it to where you could sustain yourself, so the government could send food to we lost touch with all that, dude. Now they're trying to get you to register your garden. They're like,
What?
your garden. Yeah, but it's crazy. Like, weird, and storing rainwater. Like, I mean, it's all out of
Oh
water.
yeah, there's a
Man.
bunch of rules on that shit here too. Rainwater.
Why? That's
Oh,
like,
I found.
we used to, like, look.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I'm over here dying. I just took a dab.
Nah, you're good, bro. Put up.
Woo. Yeah. My boss told me that he might sponsor me, so now I'm like, do some dabs, guys. They're all over Oregon, selling, I think, like 83 dispensaries in Oregon.
Yeah, we got one here in Athens, and it's pretty all right. I do, so I can do whatever the hell I want, but that doesn't mean social media acknowledges it. I did this video losing my weed to my room. Like, I put, like, my weed on, driving it away, vacuuming my floor, and
Right.
I did on how it was stealing my shit, and I got, like, banned from social media for like a week, and I couldn't just, like, upload my card, like, hey, it's actually okay because I'm allowed to. Nah, like, it's like, whatever, man. Way to fuck with my.
Yeah, 3 of my TikTok accounts have got deleted for marijuana use. Honestly, Snapchat. I had Snapchat. Well, I still haven't. I finally got it back, but I had to make a whole new account. They updated the whatever the privacy terms, and what they do is they don't tell you that they updated the the terms and the conditions or anything. They just update the app. So when you update, it automatically updates the, terms and conditions. And I didn't know, and I had taken a picture of, some weed, some fire ass dabs, sent it off, and then boom, it was all deleted. This is the first time I got anything ever deleted off social media. And I had made that account in 2014 when my daughter was born. And I had everything saved on it. I like messaged them and I was like, "Hey, can I just get the pictures back?" And they're like, "No, you did illegal substances." And I sent them my OLCC card and like my medical card. I'm like, "But I can legally." And they're like, "Due to our new terms and conditions of yesterday, you are now deleted." And I'm like, "Yo, you know what? Fuck you guys." And so I went on strike and didn't have them well, I had them on two other phones under different accounts. And I just kept posting that they can't delete me. And then those ones got deleted eventually because I just kept posting weed shit.
So I have to take on it. I remember like back in the day whenever, apps and stuff were cool and you could, I like cut out like a hole in a box of a Papa John's pizza. And I did like a Papa John's after, better pizza. And then I opened it up and my balls were actually tucked, like in like on, like, and no one like questioned it or said anything, and it was just my, like nowadays you can't do fucking anything, at all.
No, you can't do like
especially for me.
The one TikTok video I watched was you saying something about doing a shot out of your eye. And I was like, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God. I was like sharing that to so many people because I was trying to get you like the 1,000 likes or whatever. And I was like, I bet you though, if he does it, the video will get deleted because it's like graphic and like brutal content or whatever, because it's like
yeah.
you're pouring alcohol in your eye that's not there and your friend's taking a shot out of it or whatever.
Dude, that was one of my really close friends. What up, Lauren Bagley? She's been one of my close friends for years, the bartender that night. And because there was like 15 people doing body shots like on the bar, and as you can imagine, when I walked in, I was just like making a joke, and I was like freshly off like having my eye shut out like maybe a year,
Maybe a
just getting to the
year.
point, yeah, like like finally getting to the point where I'm out of my house, and fucking body shots. How about socket shots? And it was just like a joke, and my be serious. And I was like, I don't know if not. And I was like, no, I am. I ain't. She like poured it into my eye socket and took a shot out of it, and I mean, it went right to my brain. I was just like, holy shit, on hammered. I was bad, but I don't know. Like you got to. I expect anybody. It's science, bro. Like it's, it needs to
Seems like a
be.
good time.
It needs to be discovered. Like out of your belly button. Okay, cool. So you're just having somebody suck one out of your belly button. Like let's move our way up. Maybe the nostril. Okay, how about the people? And you're welcome for the scientific insight. You're very welcome. Turns out you get hammered as dick.
That's funny as shit.
Sacrificial lamb.
But yeah, that new eye you got looks pretty fucking badass though.
Oh, thanks, bro. Yeah, Christina Aguilera for me. It was Christine or Christina, but I think like you should have your name because your name's Christina. It should be Christina Aguilera because I think enough people saw it and like she was like that is a way better name. It was like shaped by many a thing. Changed it, but yeah, she's awesome. She working, and was very attentive. I had my first like synthetic eye made. It was let's just say this: the guy that made it, when I tried to give him any input, flat out, he's like, "I work for the government. We don't do cosmetics." You know, only thing I wanted for the guy, I was like, "You don't have to paint anything. I just want like a white eye, like no detail. Like just give me a white, like And it was
Just
because
make it plain white.
because the muscles on this side, well, like you even notice sometimes like this side of my mouth moves more than others, and like I have like a hard time moving this. I've had like friends like hit me on this side of the face, like my friend Marilyn, like I need to hit somebody in the face, and I'm like looking at her like well, yeah. I'm like, all right, with my face, go for it. Like, I don't have any feeling. It's like, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, fuck, I forget where I was going.
About your eyes staying in.
Like, move. It appears straightforward. So whenever I have like a just stare straight forward. So this eye moves around, and this one, because the very well on this side of my face, like it doesn't. It turns the eye really slow, you know. So when I have a fake eye in, like it's the opposite of you have a fake eye in because like you don't want people to really notice, but it becomes so obvious. First guy who was making my eye, you know, like it wasn't like I knew like cosmetic kind of like I don't want an iris or or a black pupil. I just and it was before I even realized it peered straightforward. And the guy told me no. He's like, nope, we don't, even though it would less work, you know. And I was like, okay. And then I got it, and I was like, this crappy eye this guy made just like shoots straight forward and fun with it and stuff. Like I would like push side, so like it would just peer this way. I'd like push it toward the pupil went that way, and then I would so like that was all it was good for. It was terrible, and like, dude, like if only you didn't do half the shitty work that you did, like I would be like multiple years, like I think 6 years at this point to find somebody who did what I want and made it the way. And it's like nothing complicated, like buggy white eye, like a lens there that holds the place and doesn't look like weird or offset. It's just white, It's like super.
Yeah, no, it looks sick.
To the fucking. Yeah,
it looks sick. Yeah, I went to her TikTok channel and watched her like do the design on your eye and shit. And so I shared some of her videos out to like my friends or whatever. I was like, yo, check this out. I sent it actually to my cousin as well because my aunt, yeah, she'd be my cousin. Yeah, my aunt, she's missing an eye too, and so I sent it to her because she has like a whole fucking drawer full of like just shitty fucking fake eyes. So I'm like, yo, check like this one out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like weird, whatever the thoughts I have, more so now lately than like when I think, I was learning to shift my attention. Like it became harder and harder to tattoo ways that I could utilize my creative talent and like building prosthetics for people, like just like I tattooed tattoos for people. You'll have somebody come in that's like a gear head. They want their legs to look like ripped skin with gear ears sticking out, and then you have that loves like Greek gods, and and I was like, well, fuck, what if I did that same thing for people who like wanted prosthetics, like a 3D printer, like I designed like the gears turning, and all that stuff, like, but a prosthetic arm, prosthetic leg, and like, and I was able to actually design and like program it into where it was like printed off, paint it, and make it look cool, like part and complicated. You needed so many
That's super
grants,
fucking sick though.
but I thought it was a good idea. I was gonna call it heat, like, I was gonna, but like around here, like, I mean, God, like there's not a lot of that stuff, and like because everyone around here like had dial up their whole life 10 years ago, no one's well versed in the internet or
Yo, dude, we're running dial up right now. I mean, it feels like it anyways. I'm still plugged into a
yeah,
DSL box.
yeah. Well, I feel like the conversations got more like fluent, or it was like a 30-second delay between like what we were saying, and now it was strengthening.
Yeah, people probably got off the internet. Usually
Oh
when
yeah,
a couple people are like watching TV shows, it's I think it's like fuck, it's probably late where you're at. It's 10:30 where I'm at. So yeah, all the TVs are shut off in my house now. So now the internet's flowing normal-ish.
it's a $1.32 here.
Damn, dude.
I know, bro. I stayed up all night just to be able to hang out with Bennett.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. I know I was like, shit, it's gonna be so late for him.
Nah, I was
But
watching
then
some of
you
your
were like, I'm game.
like I was watching some of your YouTube videos, like, and some of your channel really did start out as like a Jeep and a like right, like am I wrong?
No, yeah, it started out like basically just my Jeep stuff, and then it kind of moved to shooting and then quad riding, and then it's been podcasts for like a handful of like weeks now. And I'm digging the podcast, and I'm like I'm digging. I'm trying to reach out to more people, and I want to definitely get more people on here. But I don't want just like any random Joe Blow. Like I want to have like a common interest, or like a same thought process type, kind of like deal.
Well,
More people that like
sometimes I think it'll be important to like I think some of your highest is getting the opposite view. You just have to like kind of like do like get some of these like like kind of like a versus flat, yeah, like take your
right.
stance on something and then invite your opponent. Like, dude,
Oh,
dude,
I
that's what
definitely
I'm
agree
talking
with
about.
you there. That's not a bad idea either.
Yeah,
Get some people that, aren't the same minded as you, kind of, have like a debate back and forth, and, kind of like, you could learn off of each other that way at the same time.
oh yeah, yeah, like that's like the hot button nowadays too. I feel like everybody's on the fence because everyone's like afraid to take some leap like of that would like better them. It's like everyone's like kind of like sitting there like I know everything's fucked. I'm scared. I just need like that wise like fucking or whatever the fuck Joe Rogan, anybody to convince me of which way to go. No one's at their own thing, but if you had an actual discourse, but not those people agreed on like it's like change my mind. You know, you like, you know, fucking Blumpkins are awesome. Change my mind or whatever. Like, you're gonna have all these. There's like you can fucking you can see that coming a mile away, you know. But like, you know, hey, at the end of this, we'll still be friends. We might agree to disagree, whatever.
Yeah,
But that might be awesome.
it's kind of like Toyotas versus Jeeps. You know, there's always been a rival between like the Toyota and the Jeep gang.
Yeah, you know,
Like, I mean,
get to be even if
I
it at that point it could probably be a, you know, you have two well versed, you know, just shitting back and forth on each other.
oh,
Well,
I could get
you
a
know,
handful of my best friends in here, and we could shit talk vehicles back and forth to each other for hours.
yeah,
It
just
started happening
get it
today,
to where,
actually.
yeah, rather than like just me and Green have like fucking 12 really understand anything, but you'll get those gems every once in a while, like out of the clan, you know. You get like some like viral clip moment. Yeah, that'd be good
Right.
shit.
That's
I'd
like
watch that.
today. My one of my good buddies up in Washington, he's been telling me that I should post like shorts on YouTube, and I had no idea what shorts were at all. And I guess they're just like 60-second clips.
Mm.
Like 60-second clips on YouTube. And so I started looking into them. And so I posted like a couple of them last night, and they like kind of got a good viewing. You know, I'm just trying to get more people to find my channel so that way they can subscribe and my channel can grow and I can, you know, like maybe interview more people on here, talk to different groups of people. And so then my biggest one was last year. uh, I rear-ended a Toyota Land Cruiser and it completely totaled the Land Cruiser. And there was nothing wrong with my Jeep at all. I was picking glass out of the grill, but nothing was wrong with my Jeep at all. And the whole back hatch was completely gone in this Land Cruiser. And so it was like a 20-second video. So I posted it on my YouTube. I was like, okay, it's been a year. All insurance has been settled. This is all done. I can post this video now. So I posted it, and within like 45 minutes I had like 20, I think right now it's at like 22 million views, and I had a bunch of comments on there, like negative comments, like Toyota, because it says Toyota versus Jeep 1, Toyota 0, like and so I had a
But
bunch of Toyota guys on there just bashing.
but it was the truth. Like your stance looks like a more valuable one because like you literally crushed, you know, like I that
Yeah,
like no,
one of my
I
best
totally get.
one of my best friends like messaged me like 20 minutes later and was like, yeah, you think your Jeep is better than Toyota's? Then get your ass over and we'll hit some trails. And I'm like, bro, I'm down.
Well, I mean, like the proof is kind of in the pudding in that sense, you know. Like, but at that point, like a MythBusters like expose, you know, like
Yeah, well,
you need to like crowd talking shit. Like, okay, like fine, you know, I'm not gonna risk my car, but like if enough donations, we will put these cars to the test, and we will see.
yeah, no, if
If
someone's
you
got a
if the role
2007 Toyota Land Cruiser that they want to test this myth with, I'll use my Jeep, the same one. Like, I'll do it again.
get another like couple views, like
Yeah, like, come on now. I'll do it again. We can myth bust this. I got frame stiffeners. That was one of the comments, was like, well, if the bumper wasn't on there, that Jeep would be totaled. And I was thinking to myself, like, that's exactly why that bumper's there, is because of reasons like this. Like, me and my
yeah.
neighbor built a bumper, and then I put frame stiffeners in, and then I put a winch on the front of it, and I put a stinger, and I rammed a couple cars in the woods that are abandoned out here. I tested it. We brought it back in. We reinforced it. We made it stronger. I rammed a couple more cars in the woods. There was no damage to the bumper. It was good to go.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's up, dude. Like you, Derby. Do you do demo derbies where you're from, or is that just?
No, we do them, but I haven't been to one since I was probably in high school.
Oh, dude, that's like the huge thing around here. Like nothing, 160 piece, and then there's the 1 day demo derby, and it's just a fucking
Just
two,
fucking
dude.
chaos.
Oh, dude, just everyone's fucking spitting and chew and fucking like, like it's so good.
That's awesome.
It's but yeah, it's great. You got
See,
the
the big
demo
thing
going,
around here.
and there's all.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say it's the demo derby. You see all these people like hating each other and spitting on each other and making illegal bets, the rusty rides that your kids shouldn't be on. But they're going to the tune of metal grinding and shit. Like it's just a great time for the.
That is fucking hilarious. There's definitely actually they don't come anymore. They stopped coming last year. Lapine 4th of July, they had a Frontier Days, and they had like a sketchy carnival that would just show up and set up in like 30 minutes, and it was like a zipper and like some 2 little kids rides, and it's like that's not safe to be on. They just set that whole thing up in 30 minutes.
Like the ride that should have never let me on, like ever. You have like around and uses G-force the wall, and you have all kids
Oh,
like
the alien
trying to.
spaceship.
Yeah, I guess we probably got like 500
Yeah,
different.
the gravitron.
It's like it's supposed to suck you the wall, but you always have that asshole that is how tough I am. Like it's like Goku or like Vegeta training at like 400. He's like the one guy like sitting up, and then the like ride jerks to a stop. 400 feet, like just bounces
My
around.
cousin, he lives in is it Iowa? Is where you're from? Ohio?
Where is it? Yeah, Ohio.
You're in Ohio, right? Ohio.
Yeah, we
Yeah, so
assholes.
my cousin, he lives there, and he was that kid growing up that decided he wanted to try to push himself forward, and then when it spun him, it like had his like face locked to his arm, like bent sideways, just sucking himself into his own arm. But yeah,
Do you
he
remember
lives all the way over there.
that certain like speed too? Like the seats like go up, like
They
up.
slam up hard.
It like so your feet are like off the ground, and like dude, to be this tall to ride this ride or shit. You're like looking at toddlers, like kids in baby seats. People are just like holding the kids like stroller like up to the wall. It's like a total absolute backwoods fest of dumb
The
shit. Like
fucking mid 2000s, man.
dude, the fire go around like 4 sparklers like are like being run around by like local like like police force or whatever. They like light it and they spin, and you're like, oh, like get ready for the grand finale, and they light off 2 bottles, just like utter trash. Like, you have to like, dude, it's so ridiculous. It's bad. Infinite Woods though, like Wayne National, man, that's like 100,000 even more. Like you can get lost for days in there.
Umpqua National Forest. That's where people get lost here.
Yeah. I like to see your neck of the woods, dude. That's like I'm tired of my RV, and the goal was like when me and Rachel like were going to travel around, like go places and study local flora and all that stuff, and the gas prices just jumped up like a motherfucker within time. And we were sitting here like, wow, it would have been kind of easy, make money while we're on the road doing our thing, and then it only gets 6 miles to the gallon. It's got a 75-gallon tank, $1.70. It's like $5 a gallon. How the fuck can you do anything on that? That'll suck all your.
Here it's like $5.50 a gallon for gas. It's $107 to fill my Jeep.
That's brutal, dude. That's brutal. Like paying.
Yeah, it's fucking messed
up.
up.
It was like 300 something to drive this on a to to go to, or from completely full to empty. It was like $300. Fucking $700 or some shit. Like, fuck, you have to stop. Sorry, I'm just peeing out my door.
Dude, that's fucking. I do the same shit. I got a tree with my name on it.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's where my when it rains, that's where the gutter leads out to. So it just washes the tree off. Because I've been trying to kill that tree for 12 years now.
Yeah. And we ended up moving to our friend's property over here, and that was like almost 2 years ago. And we had a friend pass away, and we pulled a funeral service and everything, and we just never ended up leaving. Pretty back here, it's the only property that our friend's dad doesn't own, the owner of it. And he was like, yeah, if you could just park your RV there to make sure crackheads don't use it as like a shitter, that'd be awesome. And ever since, yeah,
you're like,
dude,
basically, I'm just staying here so no crackheads are here.
Had off like a few crackheads, in the one of them showed up and was like, well, I used to party here all the time, and a nurse and my scrubs and my kids' coloring books are in there. And I was like, out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, cracky.
Really? Cool. How long's it been? I've been here for 2 years, and your scrubs are you didn't pass medical school, homie.
No.
You're just trying to steal. She's got the dude who's scratching his driving. It's yeah.
Oh my god.
It's gnarly.
Yeah. We got plenty of those around this town.
Oh, dude, Appalachia's a fun place, man. I tell you what, whenever you're filling out your paperwork for school and stuff like that, are you indigenous, African American, Latinx? I was like, what? We're and then you look into it, and it's because supposedly you can't read. Yeah, my dad, he can't really. We always made the joke we were going to get him hooked on phonics for Christmas. He could drive a truck, fix an engine, rebuild a goddamn like bridge tons, but yeah, when he texts me, it's always like, like broke like it's like,
Just
Dad, there's
fucking plain simple text.
the talk text button, man. Push the fucking button and talk into it, like, love you, tomorrow see you. It's like, dude.
My aunt, she
Fuck
lives up there in your neck of the woods, and she texts me the same way, but it's in all capital letters.
yeah, fuck, I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 21, and I remember I always locked that motherfucker up writing her books and stuff. Shit, like you'd always pick up the phone and give you that like tone, whatever. Like I talked to days, and it's like they're like telling me stories about how they had I had to call my mom guy at the pool whenever I was like 13. I was like, holy shit, like I just had to learn to out pool. I didn't have a fucking smartphone, cell phone, dude. Like I just ran.
I didn't get a cell phone until like almost out of high school. We had a payphone at the high school, and so we would just call my mom on the payphone, and right at the beginning where it would say state your name, we'd say football practice is over, come pick us up, and then it would just play, and then we just hang up the phone.
Yeah, that called. There used to be this that was it was a guy who was like, he just had a baby who was making a collect call, and it was like, state your name, and it was like, Bob, we had a baby, eats a boy, like
yeah, I seen that.
right, like yeah, dude, it's still super backwards. Like when you drive in your main city, Athens, like here, like 15 minutes outside of, do you want fast dial up? Like fucking shitty, like everywhere, but like nobody has it. No one gives a shit. Like like the old way garbage around here, which is like, but like you try talking to anybody like that you meet, or you have like a flat tire on the back, can't speak English or have no like social cues whatsoever. Like just like that. So you're just like, whatever. Like I just get it. Like I still have like my like so many. I'm like 35 years old, and I still have it's like a long generation of people like having their kids at 16. Like at one point, I had on my one side of the family. Like the old ways are still very rampant. Grandma is like as old as most people, just now 68. And that's my grandmother.
Damn, that's young as shit.
Yeah, dude. My mom had me in her at 16. Still much alive. It's a whole different way of life. We got like one, and he's usually getting fucking. It's pretty all right. Everything's side by side legal around here, so like ride your quad around and side, and,
So there's one county in Oregon where you can ride side by sides on the street and like quads and stuff like that, and that's in Lakeview, Oregon, over by like Klamath Falls, like almost bordering California. It's like a little small farm town. I remember my buddy got a screaming deal. He got a like lifted like 98 Jeep Cherokee, super clean, he had a quad, and the guy had got a DUI, so he was trading him the quad for the Jeep because he could drive the quad legally down the streets without a license.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like
Farm.
my buddy thought it was like sketch as fuck. He's like, no, the Jeep's probably fucked up. And I'm like, no, dude, he said he got a DUI. You can legally ride the quad on the street. So why would he need a Jeep? Like, he needs a way to work, bro. He can
At
ride a
least,
quad.
dude. Like around, you don't have to have a license plate on the back of your like ATV as long as you have like a little reflective, and it's just like that means the farm vehicle. Like essentially, you are completely, especially if you like throw a chainsaw on the back of it, like, or my way to do chores. You just like
That's
left the
how it
bar,
is out in like
but
but you just left the bar.
I got some late night chainsawing to do, you know. Yeah, they
That's
can't
how it
touch
is
you.
in like Fort Rock. So like about 30
Yeah.
miles from here where my mom lives. Yeah, that's how it is there. Like you can like literally they have people that walk into the bar, grab like 3 cans of beer, and they'll be like, put it on my tab, and then they just walk out and they come back in a couple days and pay it.
Oh yeah, that's totally how it is here too. Like a floating tab. Like people that come in
Oh yeah.
and like, hey, I'm working in 3 days. Give you my paycheck and like days from now.
Yeah, that's how it is out there.
Yeah, we have like 3 bars in this I don't know 3 miles of town. One another, like literally everybody knows one another. Like, I mean, if you steal something or whatever, like the next day someone's like, well, so and so did this, like texting him and shitting on him, like, hey, I'm never gonna trust you again unless you it, and everyone keeps each other pretty in line. But it is a funky town. There's nothing to do here other, like, I mean, unless you want to go blow up some tannerite or shit, and like, which wins at all. Like, I could literally like millimeter and shoot it like until the clip ran dry out my window right now, and there's no police that would like come. As a matter of fact, like if you want the police to come, like an hour and a half until they get there.
Dude, literally that's
like,
exactly where I'm living at right now. I love it.
Yeah.
So no shit. The way Oregon's set up with the like how there's like different counties in each state. So we're literally on the border of Klamath County and Deschutes County. So like quarter of my field runs through Deschutes County, but my driveway and my actual address runs through Klamath, and it's an hour and 45-minute drive from Klamath Falls to my house. And so like we had an incident I think it was like 2 years ago now. Like I got kids and they ride their bikes up and down my driveway, and there was this guy that kept going past my house at like 100 miles an hour. And so I ran out there and yelled at him, and so of course he went and got his buddies and they came back to my house. Well, instead of calling the cops, I called my neighbor, because both of my neighbors on each side, one he is a Marine, and the other one on the other side, he's like this 6'8" Scotland guy. Like he moved here from Scotland, and he's cool as shit. He's the guy that helps me weld and fabricate all my like parts and stuff on my Jeep. But he came over here, and then we got in a tussle, and they got really fucked up, and then the cops came. But it took almost 2 hours for the cops to get to my house. And the first words out of the cop's mouth was, "Why didn't you call the cops?" And I was like, "How long did it take you to get to my house?" Like,
Yeah.
and so he got in a little bit
Man,
of trouble, and I got in a little bit of trouble. But after it was all said and done, it was one of those things like, hey, they showed up to my house and caused me problems. Why am I getting in trouble? Yes, we beat their fucking ass in the streets. Why are we getting in trouble, though? It was at my house. Like,
Yeah, people that you see like on Facebook and stuff that like get all upset and shit about like the whole like take pictures of like the bumper of some car that says like like we don't call the police, we shoot, whatever, and they like take pictures like, oh, I can't fucked up this person is, and it's like, dude, you just haven't had a problem yet.
Yeah, you haven't
You're
had like a real situational issue where you've been feared
just
for your
wait,
fucking life, you know?
like you're gonna call the cops, and then you're gonna throw one of them stickers on the back of your phone, like 100%. Like I tell you, I'm a shooting victim, dude. Everyone like, dude, like how do you support like gun like laws and stuff? And I'm like, because dude, if I would have had a fuck night I got shot, trust me, I would have shot the guy fucking first, man. Like
Right?
it sucks getting property, man. Like, fucking weirdo, dude. Like in through it. They don't know that shit, that you have to that requires that testament, like how fast can, like, not to mention too that, or like defund the police, like defund them. It's like, really cool. The same people
That's like
the police are gunless. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, well, if they show up here, I'll just give them everything they want. Well, what happens when that's like your children, wife? Like, you need
yeah.
a fucking weapon. Like, you need your, like, send me that
You
line.
need, well, I was just gonna say, back to when the COVID first broke out and I stopped to buy the toilet paper, I ended up like spending almost like $3,700 in guns.
Yeah, pre-conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. My
yeah,
wife,
dude.
my wife was like, "Oh, we need toilet paper and get some like food that's good for a long period of time." And so I got like top ramen and I got like 3 cases of chili because I'm like chili lasts a long time. And then got a
Yeah,
couple things of toilet paper. As I was headed to the toilet paper, I had to go past the gun aisle and I had just peeked in and was like, "Hey, what's the background check number?" And he's like, 2,800. They've been coming in like crazy today. And so when I heard that, I just stepped into line and I was like, I'll take that hunting rifle there. I will take those 2 handguns. I'm going to take that 12 gauge shotgun right there. I'm like, put them all on one tab and then I'm going to max out my ammo. And at that time, he said that we didn't have a max limit on ammo. So I bought like 2 tubs of 45 and then like 10 boxes of 9 and then a bunch of 30/30 because I already had one of those at home. And so I just kind of like when I got home and my wife looked like at the like everything that I brought in the house, I'm like, here's the chili, here's this, here's this. And then I set the receipt down and she's like, $4,800. She's like, what else is on here? And I was like, oh, I gotta wait until my background clears. I was like, but I'm bringing in all the ammo now. I'm
Yeah,
like, this shit's hitting the
you,
fan. I have deer that walk through my yard every day. Like there's 10, 15 deer that walk through my yard every day. I mean, I also go out every year with my hunting license and I usually get a buck or an elk. I still have about 90 pounds of last year's buck in my freezer and I just been eating it throughout the summer. It's fucking way
yeah,
healthier for you.
yeah, absolutely. No, dude, people don't get that shit. They really fucking don't, man. You know, like, yeah,
My buddy in uh real quick, my
good.
buddy in Lakeview, he's a cattle rancher. I'm probably gonna get on maybe next month or at the end of this month or the beginning of next month sometime. He goes back out to the ranch and I'm gonna go out and do a podcast with him and probably get like 3 or 4 with him because he owns a cattle farm and he does his own butchering and he does his own slaughtering of his beef and he goes out every morning and he milks a cow and he's got a hay farm and he's got his own garden and he like pretty much lives off the land. He's old school as shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's how you got to be. Like before I got on the podcast with you, like me and Rachel, like we took a bunch, like let a forest off Ferris, like our on that up, made it into a broth. Like took some farm fresh eggs, soup. We put some maitake like with it, and like that dude, that's like a free meal to probably do it like 5-6 times. You know, like we that's how we prefer. Sometimes, dude, it only takes me walking into the woods for like 45 minutes to pull in like an entire week. You know, like people just lock. People are so scared, like especially the mushroom world, dude. Especially the mycology world. Like people, mushroom is poisonous. Every single one of them. Like,
well, and what's
it's
even
like, dude,
crazier
it's like
is the technology we have. We can take a picture of it on our phone and it will tell us like pretty much what kind of mushroom that is, and we can still do our own research on that mushroom.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
that's
Well, I mean, not to mention, there's like hardly a lot of mushrooms will like make you sick or give you like dysentery or like or whatever, especially like the amanitas and stuff like that. But you can usually, if you just spend more than fucking five, figure out which one they are, you're gonna find out that there's like this huge world. Put yourself in the caveman mentality. Like how many does this mushroom work for me? Like, you got this caveman tripping nuts around, like like no, it doesn't work. Don't eat that one. But like now, and like I'm telling you, it cuts down the cost of a lot of stuff. It does, but like the world is so disconnected, and everyone. And I did a video on that on my TikTok, like where if you're a parent, up to you, berry in their hand, you literally like run to them like, don't put it in your mouth. Immediately go, it's
I've
poison. But you don't know if it's poison. You have no the equivalent to like a encyclopedia in your hand. Out of fear, you're like, don't, but you never stop and go, wait a minute, is that something my kids should be scared of? We don't do that anymore. It's wild to me. All around you, like you can like literally like half of the around you at any given point, or use it as some sort of medication. And but you'd rather watch fucking Netflix. Like you'd rather pay your bills, like have your Netflix account, yada yada, etc., etc., but educate yourself like on the world around you. It's wild to me.
right. I'm
Was there
listening
someone
to you, but
commenting?
real quick, I gotta say, yeah. Samuel says, "Hey man, been watching since Getting Stoned episodes. Love the content. Thank you, Samuel. We appreciate that." Yeah, see, actually, that's how that's technically how my YouTube first started out, is I was really into editing. And so what I would do is I would film myself on one side of the room smoking weed, like getting super stoned. And then I would keep the camera rolling and I changed my outfit. And that's why I had like a blue flag on this wall. And I would sit in the other chair and I would put an earphone in my ear and listen to that other side of the conversation, and I would talk to myself basically, and then I'd split that in a green screen like how we're split right now, but in the same room, and then I just line the audio up, and then basically I'd have a conversation with myself getting ripped off of my own ass just back and forth just constantly. That's how my YouTube first started out, actually.
This was how long ago was that?
Like when quarantine like first hit. So
Oh,
this
the old
this
COVID day.
Yeah, but what was crazy is it didn't really affect me because I'm in the marijuana industry. So, and I'm in my own sealed unit room. I don't leave that room when I come in there in the morning. So, we had no like regulations, no mask mandates, or nothing like that. And so basically in like our small town, like, yeah, some places were more commie shit where you had to wear a mask, but I just wouldn't go into those places. And then there was a couple mom and pop shops that were like, we don't give a shit about the mask. Please don't put it on, you know? Like they put signs up saying like, you know, enter at your own risk, you can wear a mask, we don't have to wear a mask, you know? And so, but at that same time, a lot of places were cutting back. And so I was like, well, I'm going to kind of get into editing now because like work is kind of slowing down ish. I'm cutting back a couple days, you know, and then I did end up getting COVID. And when I did, I had it for, I think I had to stay to work for like 14 days or whatever. But that was like prime hunting season. So I was still pushing myself to get out of bed and hike to my tree stand every day, which is like 3 miles from here. And so the first 2 days I didn't get out of bed, but on the third day, I was still like nasty as shit. But I got up and I had like 5 or 6 eggs, huge glass of orange juice, and then I just hiked out there. By the time I got out there, I was like, this was a very bad idea. Like I got in my stand, I sat there and I was like, I'm gonna take like an hour break. And then I ended up hiking back. But I felt so dead that whole time period. And so at that time, I just sat in here and edited videos getting high as fuck with myself, like just way too stoned.
Yeah, the whole COVID fucking thing swept over, and what you, we definitely got hit with it, but like a lot of our diet and stuff, like horseradish, for example, super high in zinc. Like with fire cider, which is just like a natural antibiotic. And that's something like we daily. And I have recipes for that on my TikTok. If y'all want to see how it's done,
Yeah,
you'd be amazed at
check
how
his
much
TikTok out.
that.
Two tongues.
Appreciate it.
Deadeye two tongues.
Yeah, we were it long before it even happened, and making it a part of our if, and then we try our hardest, it's really forage and find your meal, on a daily. Like I was telling you with the tap water and everything, once you disconnect yourself like a little bit, there's an abundance of food. Winter, spring, summer, always an abundance of food. Your area, if you zone it in and you're like, this is what I can find, all parts, if it's like acorns or whatever, like you can make flour out of acorns, dude. Like, you find it in like that whole feeling of this has never been by unnatural fructose corn syrup. There's no additions like in like just gross, like it has an effect on your brain. You feel like nature and godly force behind it is the thing feeding you and disconnecting yourself. Like it feels, when we got COVID or whenever it was here, I swear, dude, it was like that's it. People drop dead on the news, and we were just like, that was it. That was all. It's like it was like we punched it right in the fucking. Like it was just a cold, dude. Like
That's how it was here. Like people got sick, were down, a few days, 5, 6 days at tops. They weren't feeling good, but then after that, they're starting to feel better. Like no shit, I still can't smell shit. Like I can smell, but it's only like certain things. Like I can smell like shit. Like if like the dog shits on the floor, it's like literally I set up immediately. I'm like, yo, your dog shitting on the floor. Or my dog shitting on the floor. It's like they haven't even shit yet. Gasoline. Like I don't use like the spray on oil that goes in your pan for like when people fry up eggs or whatever. I don't
yeah,
use that shit. It smells like gasoline coming out of a can. Like that's exactly what it smells like. Like when I pour gas in my car, it smells like the same thing coming out of that can. I'm like, oh, I'm not using that on my eggs. It's gonna make me puke.
yeah. But it fucking should, man. It should, like, yeah. I don't
It's
know.
just certain things that
I feel
smell like McDonald's, dude. I can't even like when I get it in the bag, it just smells like like asshole. It's all it smells like.
Yeah, we just, dude, like we've seen that. There's been days that we, you know, like we into like a lot of like actually what causes lung cancer. It's like a lot of like even avocado oil. For the longest time, we were like, oh, we're gonna use avocado oil because it's like way better. And
It's like
and
natural
now
and
we just
better.
now we just use animal fat now. Shit down from like our meat and stuff. We like, you know, and
Oh
that
yeah, making
like
like suet.
yeah, we've become obsessed with disconnect like from it. We will gladly like pass a McDonald's, like, you know, until you do that thing. Like the whole convenience of McDonald's is still a little draws you in, but now like we literally look at it, and we're just like absolutely like no, like, you know, like I have enough shit to worry about with fucking, you know, chemicals and like my water sources being polluted and stuff. Like just nope, like
Oh yeah,
absolutely not.
cut that
Super.
out.
Yeah, have you ever seen Super Size Me by chance? Like documentary?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
I will
dude,
definitely
watch
have to
it.
check it out though, because I've been getting into
Oh,
documentaries.
yeah, Super Size Me. It's this guy who he decides that for a year,
Oh,
360
he
days,
only eats McDonald's,
he's
huh?
going to yeah,
Yeah, I seen like half of that, but I
and
was
he makes
really
a few
high and
rules.
passed out.
Yeah, and you're probably like, "Fuck, I want McDonald's." Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, but he does like 365-day uh like he eats McDonald's, and like the health effects it has, man, is just like crazy, bro. Like, you know, it's what like we like. Have you ever seen how much on a windowsill for a year?
Dude, nothing's gonna happen to it.
Nothing. You're fucking absolutely right.
No.
Nothing to it. Mold doesn't form. No natural process happens. What so literally pretty much turns itself to biscotti. It just into like a fucking naturally that, that never loses its color. I mean, like everything about a lettuce, the tomato, it all stays
Trash.
immortalized in time. You know, and that's the thing, like, bro, like we all fucking know that's happening, and we all just kind of turn away out of convenience. You know, like
Well, yeah.
like 22 rifles sitting right here next to me for in the morning whenever I wake up and I watch those run across my yard. Like it's I'm making squirrel gravy. I'm like yeah, like
See,
it's
I'm all for that, and my wife thinks I'm just gross and foul when I do shit like that. Like the other morning, I woke up and opened the door, and there was like 14 quail in the yard. Yo, I had quail for lunch that day.
no shit, bro. Again, like
Bang, bang,
yeah,
bang. There's 3 quail. That's free lunch.
oh, it's so much easier. All that chemical in your body, you're like you have the energy to like pluck for a day, like, you know, like that's the beginning of your day, you know. Then you go out and you get a little like garnish for it, you know. You go get some like hen of the woods. It's like, oh, there it is, bud. Once you take the food costs out of your life, you really don't have to work much. Like
The
you really
shitty
don't.
part is the shitty part is my location. You can't grow shit for shit. It's just all pumice. The soil's not for nothing. Like, and
Mm.
everything here is already dry and just dead. Like, it's just like I'll have to send you like a video on like through text or something. But like literally my whole yard is just like completely dead. Everything, my field, everything, all the neighbors' places, it's all just like it's that time of year where everything just completely dries up, pretty much dead. Like nothing grows
Well,
for
what?
shit up here. But if I drive over to Oak Ridge, which is about 45 minutes, it drops down in elevation, and that's like the green area. And I used to live there when I was super young, and we had a huge garden, corn and strawberries and cherry trees. And my mom was like all about like living off of like, the ground that was beneath us. And my grandma was our neighbor, and my grandma had a huge garden. And my favorite thing was her wild peas, man. Like the peas that she'd grow out there.
Oh,
I remember her
totally.
always yelling at me, "Stop eating all those. I want to put those in a stew later. I'm pulling carrots right now." Like,
But have you grow in 5-gallon buckets?
what's that?
Like gypsy garden, you have to rely on like your home turf soil. You like can put it in 5-gallon buckets.
So I just actually started following a guy over I think he's over in the UK, and that's what he does. He has like a super small garden in his backyard, and he does them out of like 3-gallon contain like plastic containers for certain things, and then he uses like 5-gallon buckets for potatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I started just watching his videos recently and was telling my wife like, "Hey, we could grow potatoes in 5-gallon buckets, like no problem." I have hundreds of 5-gallon buckets around this property. Like,
yeah, yeah. You can like that. That's what we did because we're more mobile. Like we didn't know where we were settling, so we planted almost everything in 5-gallon buckets. But then lands like property, like my buddy, like I went over and helped him start a garden. Have my grandma, my mom's garden between everybody's like garden. Like you have like a healthy bounty, but yours like ours like it's Ohio. It's like the breadbasket of the fucking world. Tree anyway. Like we never like have much problem with that. Ours was just always mobile, and like if we wanted to say drive to pack our entire garden in our house, but it ended up being like we just kind of could sit still with the frost coming in. Like I have to go out, like when I'm off the phone with you, I'll have plants inside, like to, in the morning, put them back out for as long as we can. But if you have soil issues, exposed issues, which I'm sure you have, just put them in fucking 5-gallon easy. Just make sure with every plant that you have, kind of instructional manual, which soil is preferred for whatever plant you're, some like peat moss, some
right.
like pro, like, yeah, like, yeah, that's
Just kind of do the
what
research
we,
on it.
yeah, yeah. But I still have, like, I have a super, I mean, just peppers, habanero plant, jalapeno plant. There's a black pearl ornament still rolling just because I make the simple, I go out and I spend probably pulling 20 buckets inside so they don't get frost on them.
They still keep
Yeah. And
growing.
then I make hot sauce out of peppers, and I'm trying to do like a plug where my hot sauces are right now. But then I
Yeah, I
take
was gonna say I've seen the hot sauces on TikTok.
yeah, then I take those peppers and stuff, and I make all these different the mushrooms and stuff that I either find or make, and I sell a box of them. It's 35 bottles. I think we sell that for $250. Pretty easy,
Shit,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then I know the algorithm, just like anything, it's all an algorithm, right? So next year, if this, 12 buckets of pepper, like I'm gonna plant like 12 rows of pepper at the house I'm inheriting. and see what I can pull off, and I'm inheriting out of my grandma's too. I'm building houses because it was successful, off a couple 5-gallon bucket plants that I have
You made it
here.
good.
Yeah, just off of bucket planting, and then that are all around me that I get a whole bunch of other stuff from, but it's it's still work we put in. But this was like what I'm harping at is this was just and buying a few $4 5-gallon buckets, using compost that I made from the year before and filling them up and having some really success now, leading to $500 a fucking every 35 bottles that I have is it's every $500, and that's paying back my glass, paying. It's pretty easy, and it makes me just sit here and be like, fuck, if I do, especially deer jerky, fuck, you get a deer, that's free meat. Other than your time you have invested into getting the deer, that's free meat.
You guys get
Nowadays, you
big
go to a
deer over
small
there?
bag. We have the best genetics in the country. I don't care. I'll fight. I don't care who the fuck you are. Ohio has the best.
Well, how big are
Ohio
they?
has the best. Dude, stupid huge. There are people who fat money, dude, fat money to come down and get some of these deer. I mean,
Well,
the
I'm saying it's over by Canada. They got to be some good sized deer.
down, from Canada, and from the Eastern Peninsula down here, kind of like geese migrate. They have their time. A lot of them come down. They move all the way down here, a little warmer winter. You know what I mean? To get the absolute hell out of the colder climate. And they make their way down here, and we're right in that perfect spot, man. We're perfect,
Prime condition.
yeah, and it's not uncommon to see. I mean, dude, some of these hooves that are I have to make 2 hands to show you how big. Now you have at God, I wish we had elk. Be fucking gnarly.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we got elk that are the size of the fucking horses out there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but
I'm in a prime elk spot, that's for sure too. So I will send you
yeah.
if I still have the video. My grandpa, he hunts out back behind my place for elk. He always has his little spot set up. But last year I sent him a video. There's probably 40 elk standing in my field. And I was just walking down because I was gonna go shoot some of the ground chucks that were out there tearing up the field. And as I'm walking down, I look up and just see all these elk hopping the fence. And so I pulled my phone out and got a video for them. I'm like, the elk are here, and you decided not to show up today.
Was the elk striding the fence? It didn't even jump. It just stepped
Yeah,
over.
it didn't even really it was kind of like when a bunny just kind of hops forward. It was just like a whoop, kind of just hopped over it.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to do. I don't know if you've seen a lot of my TikToks or not. You've probably seen how much I love my grandma. One of the coolest people ever on this planet. But
Oh
she
yeah, I've
lives in
seen.
Alaska. She lives in Alaska for 6 years, and it was 6 months of darkness, and she would oftentimes talk about dinosaur huge, and she's got this picture of a moose pushing the window of her house, because it's so fucking tall, so, and then there's moose, you know,
That's insane.
it's yeah, our
The
deer are the best though. Whatever, you're some elk meat, and I'll send you some deer meat. You know,
I didn't get an elk tag this year, so if my friends don't get no elk, then I won't get no elk. But I like getting the late hunt season for deer because that's when they've made their way further down because the mountains got more snow, so they're headed down towards the valley out towards where my mom lives. And so I have like an intercept pretty good spot. Last year was probably one of the biggest bucks that I've gotten in all pretty much like since I was a little kid. It was one of those like I had been looking for it for a while. One of my friends had called me and was like, "Hey, that big buck that you were just tracking came through my yard. It's headed out by your stand." I was home by myself with all 6 of the kids. My wife was at work or my wife was on her way home from work, and her sister was at work. And so I had called my wife, and I have a Dodge Durango. It's got, its seats, it's got third row seating in the back. And I was like, "Hey, I'm going down to my deer stand. Meet me down there." And so I drove down to my deer stand and I hopped out and I gave all the kids like snacks and stuff. I was like, "Give me 2 seconds." I took 2 steps away from the Durango and the deer was already walking forward, dropped it right there. Bang. I just turned around and my niece, she's like 4 years old. I like open the door. She's like, "You dropped that deer, uncle." "Yeah, we're having deer steaks."
yeah. The last time I went hunting, like my wife moved from Cleveland. Like, you know, she was always up there for like the first 5 years of our relationship. So stuff, and like, you know, she could hardly travel from Cleveland to here. You know, so she really participating in, you know, deer season or hunting season or anything like that. First time she did, we're like living in this camper, and I get like all suited up, you and everything. You know, first day of, you know, I kept like hunting, you know, and I'd go out and I'd like spend a few hours like out there, and I already had the trails marked out and everything. So like by midday, I was like, okay, you know, they're not active. Like I'm just gonna go back. Well, this one morning, like, and it was, you know, it was when I got my deer last year, and I was like sitting there and I was ding, you know, and it just like it all seems like, you know, super strange to her and everything. Still, I might be gone, you know, like I was the past couple of days. And I walk outside and it was just like the perfect day, dude. I went outside and I got it with a recurve, like this shitty dude. Like, and I like went outside and I like didn't even get fledged, didn't even get my arrow fledged, and was like, here we go. It's gonna be like just like the next couple of days, and it's maybe 10 minutes. And I walked outside, and I was like, BAP! And like fucking nailed it, double back inside, and like I was like, got one, you know. So now she has this miscally is. It's like it's this 15-minute process, like where you like, you know, you like, because like I'd always like tell her like, oh yeah, like I went, you know, around and I like sure didn't find anything, and like in her mind, she's like, oh, it's kind of fucked around. It's either like I went out all day and like nothing, or it's like this 15 thing, and she's like, oh, and I'm like, it's so hit or like,
It's like fishing.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes you like nail the big bass, like first, man, boom, you got him, dude. You know, and then sometimes like you sit there all, you know, like
And don't
yeah,
get
that one
shit.
time, yeah, I got it was a 6-pointer, and like I remember I like went out there and like nailed him, like I got him, and then she got to see the whole process, and she was like, "What the fuck?" I'm nuts out, like drag it up, like wrap a rope around its horns and drag it up because he's only at that point. That's how lucky I got with it, you know, like drag him up the hill. I'm like, she's like, oh my god, she's like still convinced it's alive, kind of. As I'm like it's fucking dead. Like you don't have to worry about me hurting it. It's like fucking gone, letting it hang there. What's that all about? Like, you don't understand. But yeah, then we ate its heart, and she thought that was kind of fucked. But, you always
I was
do that
trying
shit.
to look for a picture of my buck on here. For some reason, did I not share it to Facebook? I never know.
Yeah, we'll have to be friends on podcasts together.
What's that?
We got to do more podcasts together.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I definitely am enjoying this podcast.
I was nervous, like, as shit, man. Like, I got to like deal with these like fucking West Coast dudes. Like later, I was like, worlds are gonna collide.
I know. I seen your TikTok. I shared it out, I think, to like 30 people of like my friends, and then like threw it on my Facebook and was like, "Yo, check it out," And I was like sitting there, and like I seen it, and you were like kind of nervous. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you got this. You'll be fine." Hold on, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. It's on my fucking. Oh, of course it's gonna be fucking gay.
It's like,
don't be gay,
it just looks like
yeah, it's all white and shit. Hold on.
Yeah, dude.
I got this.
That looks like a big bug.
See, I'm smarter than this technology bullshit. Watch this shit. Oh, you probably won't be able to get it until after this fucking conversation. I was like, dude, I have your number. So I just screenshotted that shit because it's on my Instagram.
Smart.
Yeah, so we hauled it in a minivan too.
Oh, I just got your
because
message.
my Durango is
Afraid to click off. I'm afraid it's gonna like fuck up the whole podcast.
right. I was like, yeah. Well, we'll probably hop off here in just a little bit. It's fucking late as shit there for you. It's because it's already 11:30 here for me, so it'll be there for you, huh?
Bryce, it's fucking 2:40.
Yeah, 2:40. Yeah, it's 2:37 here. I'm like, shit, dude. Yeah, we will definitely have to do some more podcasts together. Hopefully, I can get some better internet quality or something. I mean, I don't think this was that bad, actually.
It mellowed out. It was really bad at first.
Yeah,
I mean?
I was gonna say you're breaking up just a little bit here and there, but it's not like I can still understand everything, and I think it's because my computer's trying to slow everything down. So I don't know. I think it turned out good.
Like when I first started, it was like fucking like a 30-second delay, and then I'd like sit there and like like wait, and then you'd finally this is like a fucking like a shitty newscaster like blooper at first, but it settled itself out. I think
Yeah,
we did
before we were talking about walkie-talkie talking.
Like, no, like we.
But yeah, dude, that was
good shit.
It was good shit. I was just gonna say that. I should probably let you fucking bounce to bed.
Yeah, like we didn't even like get to like it's like it just became like on the internet.
Right. Like, we went over some good topics, and then we just fucking kind of went off rails, and then just started having our own conversation about other shit. But
yeah, totally. Like I'm kind of anxious to like watch. It would be like hilarious, because I always watch podcasts. I think like watching fucking shitty movies or whatever the fuck. It'd be interesting and like like
go back and watch this. You can always screen record sections and throw them up on like TikTok or like random parts of this conversation or something. I'll probably do the same shit.
Yeah, absolutely. it's gonna be just hard, like sifting through all of our garbage. Like we, like we,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
It's kind of a pain in the ass when I do my podcast with the GoPro and the Jeep, because I like sometimes like someone will say something, then they'll be like, "Can we like edit that out?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," and I'll try to like make a mental note. But sometimes I'm just like, man, I don't even want to like edit it out. Like, try not to say some shit. And then they're like, okay. I'm like, don't name drop people if you don't want their names out there. You know, if you say their name, then I'm sorry, but it's probably just gonna stay in there because I don't want to edit that shit anymore. It takes hours, like two and a
yeah,
half hour podcast. That's I gotta rewatch that. How many times do I gotta rewatch that clip after I edit it or drop the intro or the outro or like it's still fun and I like playing with it, but if I got like a time frame to push it out, it's like, man, I should have a backup video for this. Like
whenever I watched your videos, I noticed like the intro and shit, and I was like, "That's like well done." Like
that
pretty slick.
my buddy was like, "Yo, you should have like an intro." So I just got on YouTube and watched a couple people and talk about intros, and then there was like this I don't want to pull it up because it'd probably fuck up the stream, but there's like a basically another website. I think it's called Kavana, and you can get on there and just like check out a bunch of their layouts, but then you can like put layouts together and make like different ones. And so I just put a couple different ones together and then just like filled out my name. I'm like, that's just gonna be it. That took me like 4 hours to make. That's it. Like I was like, it probably wouldn't have taken me 4 hours, but my internet is so slow here to like load everything. It took like 45 minutes to load like a 10-second piece. And there's like 3 or 4 10-second layers on top of each other. And I was like, well, it's going to take an hour. I'm going to go smoke and I'll be back. Like,
Well, dude, if your podcast gets big enough, then you like knows what the fuck they're doing, and like they'll only take like an hour with that shit, and they'll probably have it down like 10 times better than like you did. You know,
oh, yeah,
like
probably.
my strengths are not like with internet creation or digital out of the 80s, bro. Like, you know, like the only thing I can do is like have matter that people listen to the point where somebody who's like a child of this will be like, I got you. Like, I can make you a sick intro. Because
Right.
otherwise it would have been like Stones, like, like
Well, if you look through some of my
yeah,
other
but that was
YouTube channels, or not my YouTube channels, but some of my YouTube videos, like when I first started out doing like quad riding and stuff, the intros was like me doing a burnout on a quad and then like the camera changing and still doing a burnout and then like another camera, but it was like I was trying to make it flicker like all fancy, like the intro would be like bam bam bam, or something. And I was like, I think this is working out. And I was like, I don't know. Now I look back and I'm like, man, that was like, I'm so glad they have like other platforms that you can like check out, because that was just all through iMovies, cutting pieces and adding like splices. Like there's like an unboxing video where I'm unboxing something, and then like the next clip is me just like hardcore ripping my dirt bike through the shop, and then it just cuts back to me like playing like harmonizing music as I'm cutting open the box. Like I'm like, yeah, it's still like doing crazy just random shit like that and making videos for no reason though.
no, it's your phone. Half the time the videos I'm making, I'm literally just doing this, holding a camera, like some almost 40, just discovering TikTok. Which is
You're just clear lifting a rock up and you're like,
yeah, no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
that'd be a good TikTok video for you. Just dressing up like all in leaves and shit and climbing up out of a hole and like having the phone out there picking up and be like, ooh, ooh, like what is this phone? Like oh, good shit.
Totally. All right, man. Well, hey, man, it's 2:40. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
I
appreciated
stuck
having
it
you
out.
on here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody that was watching. This is Deadeye Two Tongues. Check him out on TikTok. I'm trying to get him to make a YouTube. You should, or a Rumble account, one of those two, because Rumble's not as like strict as YouTube. I've just been started checking into Rumble. I haven't got into it yet, but I know there's like a bunch of other people on that platform that do shit that doesn't get banned, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So
Yeah,
I'll definitely send
totally.
you some links, but check
Did we
this
have?
guy out.
Was there people watching?
What?
Watching?
I got someone just commented. Cameron says hello. I follow him on TikTok.
Hey, hey, Cameron. Thank you so
That
much,
was
homie.
like 10 minutes ago, but I think there's one viewer. But I mean, eventually, you know, this is gonna be on my YouTube for a good minute. It's part of the
Hey, well,
podcast, so people will just come through and view it. So subscribe. Go check him out on TikTok. We've been rolling
hey,
this thing for 2 hours, 30 minutes. That's a good conversation.
yeah. We rolled it.
But yeah, we'll have to have you
Hey,
back
thank you
in
so
here
much.
sometime soon.
Yeah, man, I'll be around. You know, I absolutely. This is a podcast, and I absolutely enjoyed it. But it's kind of settled my nerve about it. I just got to get on here and
Right?
can talk with your ugly ass.
Yeah, dude. But
Hell yeah.
all right, you have a good night,
Hey,
man, and we'll talk at you later.
all right, brother. Much love.